Hello, I am your author and host, Michelle Lynn Gaines. Welcome to my place.
Feeling lost.
Or empty.
Worried.
Need emotional healing. Guidance. Or just a different way to view yourself. Welcome to Insights for Life, an MLG production.
Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about emotions and feelings a little more today, and I know you're probably thinking why. We've been talking about emotions and feelings for 2 days, but they're such a big part of our life. They control so much of us. Our emotions and feelings are how we connect with each other and the world around us and even ourselves. Our emotions tell us how to feel every day. So some people, it's the fuel to their engine in life. They wake up every day out of bitterness and resentment, or out of happiness and love, and they go on with their day. And some people are just driven by their emotions, being pulled behind them like a sleigh and a horse. And some people let their emotions and feelings drive their bus in life, or drive that plane. It's not just the fuel. They're not being pulled behind it as if they're on a sled and their emotions are the horse. They're actually letting them drive happily to just let them do it. You know, sometimes it's like a base camp where we wake up every day in and out of our circumstance, but also in and out of our emotions, of this myriad of conversations from the past we play in our mind, or the feelings that resonated, and we wake up in a myriad of hate or bitterness, or just, I gotta get through the day, or gee, I'm so mad at that person, how dare they have said that to me, how dare they have done that to me, or the emotional residue, or the I'll get them backs. It's almost like a base camp. It's almost like we're literally waking up every day and asking our feelings and emotions what kind of day we're going to have. You know, from when we're teenagers, it's hard, figuring out body image and identity. So when we become adults, the things people say to us at work, or maybe a friend or a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and the things they say to us for the negative sometimes get stuck in our head. What about our parents? They say a lot of things during our time with them, very impressionable ages. There's no one who can burrow in your head like a mother or a father, and hopefully it's for the better. And so as we get older, these things pile up. In high school it's usually just a friend or a boyfriend. Sometimes it leaves us scarred, or maybe they filled our heads full of things that weren't true, which leads me to the statement, don't believe everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Sometimes we think a lot of things that just aren't true, and sometimes the things we think are true. So how will you know the difference between what's true and what's not? We think it, right? Well, sometimes you won't, until you do. And so sometimes we think we're too tall, too short, too thin, too fat. We need better muscles, better house, better job. We think we've failed at life. We think we're no good. We think we're, or we're too busy feeling like we didn't get what we deserve. Our feelings tell us all kinds of things, and then we start to think, but it doesn't make them true. Or maybe we say, hey, we're better than everybody because look at us. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but a lot of our feelings. So don't believe everything you think. Sometimes you'll think differently as some time passes. And so emotions. Emotions sometimes fuel our bus in life, or our plane in life, however you want to look at it. If you think life is a bus we're driving down our journey, or a plane we're flying. So our emotions are often our fuel to that plane. And emotions come from experiences. Sometimes love is that fuel. Sometimes bitterness or anger or resentment is that fuel. And whether it's real or warranted, or whether it is just something we're making up in our own minds, that a feeling and emotion is all too real. So this isn't about whether it's true or not at this point. This is about the feelings being wrapped all around us. Our perception of ourselves and each other and the world around us is often so wrapped up in feelings and emotions. And so as they govern our connections with others, with ourselves, and with the world around us, do we need to develop a thicker skin towards these onslaughts? Probably. But that's not the right answer either. Some people have so thick of skin, it's like they don't feel anything. They don't have any emotion. And so I don't think that's the right way to live life either. So how do we take control of these emotions? How do we decide, so some people, it's the fuel to their engine in life. They wake up every day out of bitterness and resentment, or out of happiness and love, and they go on with their day. And some people are just driven by their emotions, being pulled behind them like a sleigh and a horse. And some people let their emotions and feelings drive their bus in life, or drive that plane. It's not just the fuel. They're not being pulled behind it as if they're on a sled and their emotions are the horse. They're actually letting them drive happily to just let them do it. Sometimes it's like a base camp where we wake up every day in and out of our circumstance, but also in and out of our emotions, of this myriad of conversations from the past we play in our mind, or the feelings that resonated, and we wake up in a myriad of hate or bitterness, or just, I gotta get through the day, or, gee, I'm so mad at that person, how dare they have said that to me, how dare they have done that to me, or the emotional residue, or the I'll get them backs. And processing things is a big part of life. It's such a healthy thing. We absolutely have to process, and that is stages to processing. First level, things people say to us, true or not. Second level, a death of someone very important to you, or a divorce that you didn't want, or separation. Those things are a bit bigger. Those are much bigger than just stuff people say to us. And then there's life-changing things like a terminal illness, disease, maybe homelessness. So as we go through these things in life, processing them is so important. And depending on the depth of this impact on your life, it's going to determine how long of a process that is. When people die that are very important to us, it's going to take us more than a few days or a few months to move forward, to take them with us, and to really feel whole again with that person very much in our head, in our heart in our head, and to take them with us on our journey, using that love we had for them, or that love they had for us, as that fuel, as that blanket that keeps us warm, instead of the loss and the emptiness and the hole and the longing and the missing and the confusion and the doubt and the not knowing where to go from here. Okay, so from our emotions, so as we learn to, so it's like the past, as we live each day, waking up in this myriad of stuff that's happened or is currently happening. It's almost like a base camp. It's almost like we're literally waking up every day and asking our feelings and emotions what kind of day we're going to have. It's just that simple. So how do we not do that? Well, after you process it, let's just say it's level 1. Take your few days and then you have to let it go. You have to walk on in life, compartmentalize. At some point, we do have to let go and move forward. Not everything they think is true either. And so, again, as we journey forward in life, emotions and feelings of others, emotions and feelings of ourselves, and they're always going to be there. And so, as we learn to stop playing the tapes of the past, stop playing the negative tapes, and even the positive ones, and we learn to maybe start living more in the present moments of our life. When's the last time you just sat and just enjoyed the moments with your friends and family, or a moment with yourself where you weren't feeling the strain, playing some old tape, fretting about the future? How much time do we spend thinking about things that have already happened, the future, We're never in the now. We're never in the present moments of that day. Some people call it mindfulness, but it's really, they call it the past, they call it the future, and they call it the present, because I think one of the biggest things we need to learn to do is compartmentalize all those things, compartmentalize our emotions and put them into the rooms or boxes, however you want to look at it. Give them their place as we're moving forward. But often we're going to wind up with rooms and just cases of all these bad toxic things. What do we do? Are we supposed to go through them and throw them out? Are we supposed to? No, not really. This isn't about really what's going to happen in those rooms as we kind of move forward. Hopefully you will not go through those rooms and sort through it all. That would be a lot of time and a lot of energy wasted. So we compartmentalize all that stuff, and we try to enjoy the present moments of the day we're in, regardless. And so getting into the present day, and it's good to think of the future. It's good to walk through a good memory from the past, or even a bad one perhaps on a day, but how do we make that just a thought, 15 minutes of a day, instead of the whole day that leads into tomorrow and next week? And so as we learn to really just stop playing the tapes, stop caring so much, don't let what other people think completely govern your identity of who you are. Even sometimes the things we think are wrong. And so as we learn this mindfulness of just stopping the negativity, stopping the emotional cycle, trying not to wake up every day and out of that base camp of our current view of the world, ourselves, our friends. Other people can be really hard to deal with. Even people we love. Everybody has their own personality, their own habits, their own view, their own outlook. Lots of people think, gee, if I just had a boyfriend, or if I just had a husband, or if I just had a better job, or if I just had certain things, and when I get there, I'll be happy. And part of that is true. I'm not taking away that we shouldn't have goals and dreams and want things. But so often we really aren't any happier when we get those things. New wants arise. People that have husbands and boyfriends, we need a better one. We need a different one. We have jobs. We want a different job, a better job. Often when you reach that level you're trying to achieve, our wants change, or you find out it's not what you thought it would be. And so that's kind of another trap. So thinking about the future is wonderful, and wanting things and planning, but we don't want to do it to the point where we miss just the present moments and getting in tune with yourself, not playing tapes, not being bitter, not if you could just wake up tomorrow, not out of that same emotional base camp you woke up today, that would be one step forward. Just stepping out of the push and pull inside of you from what everyone has said or done. And then there's a lot of positives in life. A lot of us are lucky enough to have parents and families and groups of friends and childhoods that are just really uplifting, inspiring. They're always on your side, and the world is always shining on you. And that's great. Then that way, maybe later in life, when you come into some drama or some conflict or some things or how about just thinking we have all the answers for ourselves or each other? So often we think we have all the answers to what's wrong with our sister, what's wrong with our friend, what's wrong with our husband or spouse. And maybe we do, maybe we don't. But so often we just can't believe everything we think, and maybe they think they have the answers for us. So I think the first step is just waking up tomorrow, trying to stop the tapes, whatever it is in your life that's got you frustrated. Some of us just are tired of the bump and grind. As you get older and in the middle of life, so often it's just the push and pull between what you wanted out of life and what you've been given, between what you worked for and were promised and didn't get, or cultivating a relationship. Of all the relationships we'll have on planet Earth, deciding which ones to cultivate, to water, and to give sunlight, and to really maintain. Everything needs maintenance. The body, the relationship. And so we can't really maintain anything if we're still waking up in bitterness or resentment or stress and anxiety or sadness. And so waking up tomorrow, I think, just really stopping the tapes to whatever it is in your life that's got you stuck. Waking up every day, letting these emotions that are obviously not positive be the fuel for your bus, drive your bus, or pull you behind it like it's the horse and you're the sleigh. So I think just waking up tomorrow, not thinking about any of it, clearing our minds, compartmentalize. And we're not going to go through those compartments. We're going to let them go. We're going to leave them on a shore somewhere. We're not going to carry them with us. That's such heavy baggage to carry with you everywhere in life. That makes our burdens so heavier than they already are. And the stress and the anxiety. And so I think that would be, if Jesus could tell you, and those same emotions that lead us to connect with ourselves, we beat ourselves up probably more than anybody else would. We are truly our own worst enemy because we're housing units for all that stress and negativity, those sad feelings, those feelings of superiority, all these things that are very self-destructive. We're the housing unit for them, which kind of makes us our own worst enemy, kind of eroding us from the inside out, really. And so learning to let that go, learning to just start free, the mindfulness of just being in the present moments of a day where you wake up, not on that base camp asking our emotions what kind of day we're going to have. That's just step one. And those same emotions are going to help us connect with Jesus. And they're going to help us understand a different view of ourselves. So often we don't need to get better stuff. And it doesn't mean that you won't. It doesn't mean that getting better stuff isn't in the plan. But so often that doesn't lead to our happiness and peace because we carry all that baggage with us. And whether you're moving it into a shack, a trapper shack, or you're moving it into a mansion, that's a lot of baggage we're bringing with us. Why don't we just move into our next house lighter, traveling lighter? And so those same things are going to help us connect with Jesus to get what we need, to get our healing, to get our blessings. So if you could spend a minute with Jesus, he'd probably show you a little bit of a different reality. You could just spend a few minutes with Jesus. He'd probably tell you that you're focusing on all the wrong things. He would tell you that you look at the world through the world's eyes. And if you looked at the world from his eyes, you would see that you are beautiful and blameless, that you are perfectly imperfect. He takes your good with your bad, your wrong choices with your right choices, your mistakes and failures, and all your successes. And he loves you anyway. And as you travel through your life, on your life's journey, whatever it is you need, I'm sure he will help you get it. Whatever it is you're looking for, I'm sure he will help you find it. Maybe you're okay just the way you are, but the only thing constant on this side of heaven is change. But you don't have to do it alone. Take Jesus with you for emotional healing, stability, direction, and guidance. Learning to walk Holy Spirit led is a conversation for another day. Right now, just waking up tomorrow, start a new base camp. Let go of toxic feelings, anything people said to you, anxiety and stress. Let it be far from you. For Jesus says his yoke is easy and his burdens are light. So why are ours so heavy? Because we hold them all in. Step one, just letting it go.